The new co-main event for UFC 288 has been made official. Belal Muhammad versus Gilbert Burns at 170 is on.
In 2 weeks, we're back in Newark, New Jersey for the first time in 3 years for UFC 288, headlined by Aljamain Sterling and Henry Cejudo for the undisputed UFC Bantamweight Championship. But that's not all. The co-main event will be a 5-round welterweight matchup between number 4 ranked Belal Muhammad and number 5 Gilbert Burns, who just beat Jorge Masvidal 2 weeks ago in Miami. And what I love about this fight is that they both wanted it to be 5 rounds. 2 of the best guys in the division, and both think they deserve a title shot after this. They wanted 5 rounds, so I gave it to them.
On Belal's podcast, he said it's my Nate Diaz moment, the Nate Diaz-Conor McGregor. This guy's taking everything I worked for. I wanted the Khamzat fight, they gave it to Gilbert. I wanted the Masvidal fight, they gave it to Gilbert. Now they're talking about Gilbert fighting for a title. You want to give him everything that I want, I'm going to have to take it from him. And Gilbert Burns tweeted out the fight poster. He wrote, "Let's go." Who do you guys got for this one? Post predictions in the comments. Here is Dana White's latest edition of kItFriday. This time Dana has a bacon weave taco.
What's up, everybody? It's Friday here at UFC headquarters, and today we'll be trying the bacon weave taco. Weave together bacon strips and bake it in the oven for the taco shell. Add ground beef, shredded cheese, lettuce, and sour cream. All right, here we go. Taco shells made out of bacon. That was way better than I expected it to be. One of the hardest things about being on a keto diet is Mexican food. I love Mexican food. That tastes just like a taco. As weird as it sounds, it really is. Maybe because I've been on keto for so long, everything's delicious when you're on keto, but that's a winner.
Ahead of his fight against Sergei Pavlovich this weekend, Curtis Blaydes discusses Francis Ngannou and whether or not it was a mistake for him to leave the UFC.
Former opponent Francis Ngannou has obviously left the UFC. Do you think, there was a lot of questions about him leaving, but it's kind of cooled down by now. Like, do you think it was a mistake for him to leave?
No, I do believe he only needs to have one fight where he earns like $5 million for it to be a win for him. And that can happen between now and the next 4 years. I believe it'll happen. So I don't think it was a mistake.
Ahead of his fight against Jared Gordon this weekend at UFC Vegas 71, Bobby Green reveals that he is literally changing his name to King.
I believe this is the last time we as the media will be talking to Bobby Green. And next time out, it'll be just King. Man, y'all got that. I didn't even know. Yeah, like people thought I was going to retire. I'm not retiring. I'm retiring Bobby Green. I was going to do this a couple years ago, but I was fighting child cases, with my baby mamas and stuff. They all want to take me for child support, even though I support my kids, but sometimes they get like that with women. It is what it is. I was just trying to do something different, rebrand myself, let everybody know that what I'm doing here is like, why not? Well, I woke up today and I'm like, I've done everything I really want to do. Why not change my name? Who else wakes up and says, hey, today I'm going to change my name, let's do something different. I'm totally different from all the other guys on the lineup, and that's one thing I'm setting myself aside. Ever since I was like a little kid, I never wanted to be like you guys. When y'all go left, I'm gonna go right. When y'all go right, I'll go left. Everybody told me my style wouldn't work. Everybody told me this is different and that. Yeah, I do everything different from y'all. It's just gonna be King. I'm not really trying to I don't even really want a fight name or have a nickname or anything like that. It's just King. And it's really purpose to show people that you gotta understand, I come from foster care. I didn't have a mom, didn't have a dad, been in 50 different homes. I was homeless for a second, sleeping on different people's couches and blah, blah, blah. And I was just wanting to show people that you can go from being homeless, being a peasant, to being a king, And I don't want to be cocky like, oh, you're the king. Not the king. I'm a king, I'm a king. I built it myself off of hard work because all of us go through some things, And we all think like, oh, poor me. You're like, oh, my life was hard. Yeah, well, somebody else had a hard life too. Suck that up and you can do it. And so I'm trying to be that light for someone else to go, hey, I could do it, Bobby Green did it, and he had it pretty bad. If he could do it, I could do it.
Robert Whittaker on the MM Arcade podcast gives his prediction for Curtis Blaydes versus Sergei Pavlovich this upcoming weekend. Rob says although there is a ton of hype behind Sergei at the moment, he sees Curtis getting the W. Be sure to go subscribe to Rob's YouTube channel. A link will be in the description.
Mate, Sergei is riding a lot of hype. Okay,
Yeah.
a lot of hype, and he's been he is the boogeyman in the division right now.
Yeah.
You know, he's slotted right into that Ngannou spot. He apparently he's got the biggest wingspan in the UFC at the moment. Like, big guy. He TKO'd Bam Bam. You know, who's a hard dude to finish.
Yeah.
But yeah, like he's a menace. He's running through people. Now, Curtis Blaydes, mate. I think he would have to be one of the best heavyweights in the division. Pre Jones, I think Jones really shakes it up. I think he brings a level to the division that it hasn't been seen before. I think Curtis Blaydes is right up there. Okay, his ability to threaten with that takedown to land his heavy shots, because he's a big dude. Just because he wrestles doesn't take away from the fact he's walking in at like 250, at like 250 pounds. You know, but his wrestling in ground and pound game is next level, especially for such a big guy. Moves fast, can hold those big guys down, and big guys notoriously find it hard to get back up to their feet. My tip for this fight is Curtis Blaydes. I just think he takes him down. He can get him down, and if he gets him down, Pavlovich slows down, and Curtis Blaydes runs away with it.
So it looks like Jon Anik and Colby Covington have patched things up. A few weeks ago, Colby was not very happy with Jon for suggesting that Belal Muhammad deserved the next welterweight title shot. Colby said that he wouldn't want to see Jon's kids growing up without their father. Jon says that him and Colby have discussed things privately. Speaking to MMA Junkie, Jon Anik said good is probably a fine adjective to use. Ultimately, all I need to make sure is that the professional nature of our relationship is such that I can call his fight, ideally have a fighter meeting with him before his fight. We have discussed things privately, and I do think that I have to be careful when it seems like I might be backing a welterweight candidate over another. So my first order with Colby, whatever he had said, however threatening, and I didn't feel particularly threatened. It was Colby Covington in character as far as I was concerned, but I just have to take very seriously when a professional athlete on this roster, low profile, high profile, is upset with something that I have said. So I have to attack that first layer, and I think Colby and I are in a pretty good place that I'm excited for whatever is next for him. I've always had a great relationship with him, and I guess one thing I took issue with a little bit was our interaction in London. It was amicable, but this wasn't me kissing his ass per se. This was me just acknowledging my appreciation for him weighing in as the backup. It was a very short interaction. I've always really maintained a positive relationship with the guy up until what happened with Belal. So I got love for the man, and I hope he'll let me do my job whenever the time comes. And that's gonna wrap it up for the news. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to subscribe to Full Mount MMA and click the bell icon to be notified when we post future ones. Here are the 3 top comments from last video. These comments are in reference to Israel Adesanya responding to fans, saying that he's over-celebrating his victory over Pereira. The first one says, I love how after their last fight, Izzy and Alex were buddy-buddy talking about training together, then immediately went back to bashing each other. The second one's in reference to Floyd Mayweather potentially signing Francis Ngannou. It says Floyd may be illiterate but not stupid. Getting Francis on a vulnerable moment like this for an opportunity to own his rights is pretty smart. And the final one says it's incredible how ironic it is to see Izzy celebrating his singular W against Alex, when in the lead up to their first match in MMA, Izzy said something along the lines of he'll be in a bar somewhere talking about how he beat me once. Those were the 3 top comments from last video. If you want to be featured on the next one, all you have to do is comment down below. If you missed yesterday's news, click the video on screen to get caught up. And make sure to go subscribe to our second channel where we post our exclusive MMA interviews.